Did you know you can set up your own integration with Klaviyo and HubSpot? And guess what? It actually isn't that confusing. Let me explain. In this video, we're going to set up an integration between HubSpot and Klaviyo so you can grab contacts from HubSpot and send them in as new profiles in Klaviyo. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in order to start, we'll need some ingredients. The most obvious is you'll need HubSpot and Klaviyo account to actually get this integration going. But another important ingredient is an iPaaS solution, which facilitates the integration of various applications and systems. We'll be using Make, but other platforms like Zapier or NN can also perform this as well. Another ingredient that we'll be creating as a part of this integration is Klaviyo's API key. Klaviyo allows us to create API keys, which is going to allow us to authenticate API requests that we make to its endpoint. When the core of this integration is set up, you'll be able to pass contact and subscriber information to lists, perform custom actions based off of email activity, and so on. So with all that being said, let's get into it. One of the first things we need to create is our API key. So I went ahead and logged into my Klaviyo account. And I'm going to scroll down to settings. Once I'm in the settings page, I'm going to go ahead and go down to API keys. And I'm going to go ahead and create my private API key. Give it a name. I give it a name. I say make API key. And once we're here, we're going to have to choose between custom key, read-only key, or full access key for our access level scopes for our API key. The purpose of this is it allows us to restrict access to our private API key. Adding the right scopes protects you and your customer's data by limiting who can access your information in Klaviyo. For us, and the purpose in this demo, we'll go ahead and do full access so we can go ahead and create and delete and make changes within Klaviyo. Once created, you should go ahead and get a key generated here. We're going to go ahead and copy that and plug it into Make. Now that we have an API key for Klaviyo, I've headed over to Make to create the integration. If you're following along, you can create a Make account for free, as I did. I'm currently on Make's free plan, which allows for 1,000 operations a month. We'll be hanging around the scenario section of Make for the majority of this video. Now, scenarios is pretty much what Make operates through. A scenario is a set of different actions that can be triggered by events. Now, within a scenario, you'll have a bunch of these app modules. Picture these as different applications that can be connected. I'll show you an example. HubSpot is one of these modules. With a HubSpot module, they give you a bunch of different options that you can connect through. I'm just going to give you an example. Search for CRM objects. Now we'll be building all these different modules and connecting them to create a scenario further down in this video. So let's go ahead and do that. So to continue on where I left off, I'm going to go ahead and create a scenario. The scenario is simply going to be an integration between HubSpot and Klaviyo, as I'm going to be adding contacts from HubSpot into Klaviyo as new subscribers. It's pretty simple, but it's really just to demonstrate what sort of integrations you can set up and make. So now we're going to look for the HubSpot app. We're going to go ahead and type it in here, and boom, there's HubSpot's app that we need. We're going to look for the module. It's going to allow us to take our contacts from HubSpot and get them prepared to get sent over to Klaviyo. So now we're going to type in list. Oh, there's our error. So we're going to get a list of contacts. And now, because this is a new module, we're going to actually have to create a connection between HubSpot and Make. So it's pretty simple. All you got to do is create connection. We're going to name our connection. I'm just going to call my HubSpot CRM just by the default and click save. And from there, we're going to go through this whole dialog screen to actually get ready to connect it over to HubSpot. I'm going to go ahead and go do that. Once you've been connected, you're going to go ahead and see a bunch of different properties that gets outputted from your HubSpot instance. As you can see, there's a bunch of different properties that I have here as I'm constantly using this HubSpot account for different tests that we do at our agency. But I'm going to go ahead and narrow down into the right properties we need for the sync. For example, things like first name, last name, email is going to be needed as these outputs are going to be seen and needed for the rest of the connection into Klaviyo. So let's see if we can go ahead and find some of those properties. There goes first name, boom. Also look for email, bang. But I think I'm good here. And I'm going to go ahead and continue on forward. So now that we have our HubSpot CRM set up, we're going to do the same for Klaviyo. I'm going to go ahead and create another module. I'm going to search for Klaviyo. It's one of the first ones that pops up. And the big thing that we're going to try to do here is we're going to take those contacts that we're trying to get from HubSpot and pass them into Klaviyo and create new subscribers within a list in Klaviyo. So we're going to go ahead and search up create. And it's right down here. And we're going to create and add a profile to a list. We're going to create a connection. And this is actually where we're going to need that API key that we created earlier in the video from the Klaviyo side. I already had it saved. I'm going to go ahead and make that connection. And it should be automatic from here. Once you've been connected into Klaviyo's systems, you'll be able to actually populate the list that's on the Klaviyo side. Now, just to give a little bit of background, list can be created on Klaviyo's system. These are ones that I created pre-populated. As you can see here, I created a new HubSpot contact list. This is where all those contacts are going to sit within this list, where we can actually do things like email campaigns and other things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and select the one I did, which is new HubSpot contacts. This is where all the contacts from HubSpot is going to sit in Klaviyo. Now I'm going to go ahead and map over the properties I think that's necessary, that's going to be able to be sit inside Klaviyo's system. Once you've done mapping over all the different properties over to this Klaviyo module here, you're going to go ahead and select OK. And we should be good with all the things that we mapped over. We have the list selected. We have the properties that we need to be mapped over from HubSpot, and we'll go ahead and run the scenario. Also, you should probably go ahead and save just to make sure everything's good, but then go ahead and run the scenario, see if everything works. What should happen is we're going to be able to take all those contacts from HubSpot in a batch and send them over to Klaviyo as new subscribers. Let's see. And everything goes well, you should probably see like a green check mark kind of letting you know that things are going well, and you'll see that the number is going up as the number of scenarios are being ran. We'll look here. These are some of the things that's being passed over, all the different operations. You can actually get granular and see what actually came through. You'll see here that the email address, the last name, first name, things that I've already pre-mapped has made it over into Klaviyo by looking at the operation itself. So each operation is a contact that's being passed over into Klaviyo. Now that integration is done, we can go ahead into Klaviyo and see the profiles that was created from the integration itself. So if you go down to lists and segments, you'll see the list that we were sending over the profiles to. In this case, it was the new HubSpot contacts. There was 79 profiles created. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and voila, you'll see some of the emails that came through from the different contacts that was in HubSpot. If you followed along, I hope this video helped you get some understanding on how to set up an integration between Klaviyo and HubSpot. And if you have any complex scenarios you're trying to build, feel free to reach out at NiftyScope.io. We're always open to a chat. Without further ado, see you in the next video. Peace.